Hi friends! I'm SG Shumford, known online as Amma Simper. I'm an artist, author, and entrepreneur, and I make videos documenting my process to help other creatives thrive. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by! Family trips are times where you relax, unwind with your loved ones, and just have a good time, right? Right? Wrong! Vacations are when you check your upcoming tuition bill, panic, sign up for as many underpriced commissions as possible, and then wallow in the stress and regret that follows. Let me set the scene for you. My family and I start the drive, everything's going smoothly. The sun's shining, the scenery is beautiful, and we're just ready to have a fun adventure. And then I start thinking, or more specifically, I start stressing. My next tuition bill is due in a month or two. Will I have everything ready in time? What if I don't? How on earth am I going to make a living as an artist when I'm barely scraping by paying for college while I'm still living at home? And so I do what anyone in my situation would do. I restrain my panic the best I can and hunt down all the work I can find. Unfortunately, also woefully underpricing myself in the process. So here's my story, my mistakes, my formula for not underpricing your art, my methods for finding commissions, my tactics to keep my queue organized, and the consequences of my well-intentioned but ill-fated commission frenzy. One of the most frequent questions I see artists ask is, how do I price my work? In a world saturated with AI, talented artists underpricing themselves, a growing need for extra funds, and honestly just a lot of art insecurities and not being sure about whether your work is really worth it, it's hard not to compromise and sell your work for less than what it's worth. But that's what I'm here to do, what I'm here to tell you, that your art is worth it, that your time is worth it, that you have spent years developing your skill, spent hours of time often creating your work, and spent your hard-earned money on the supplies needed to create it. Yes, digital artists, this does mean you too, because we have to buy, iPads, Apple pencils, screen covers sometimes to make the pencil draw easier. We still have supplies just like traditional artists. And as someone who creates art, you deserve to not only be compensated for all your time and your skills and all the money you spent on the supplies, but you deserve to make money with your art, not just break even. So here's a formula that I like to use to calculate a fair price for commissions or selling your artwork. Don't worry, I hate math like a lot of artists, so it's gonna be super simple. The formula is hourly wage multiplied by hours spent, and then take that number and add it to the price of supplies used in the process. So let's break this down a little bit more. Hourly wage should be anything above the minimum wage for your area. Mine is a measly, I think, $7 an hour, so if yours is really rock bottom like mine, I'd suggest somewhere between like $10 to $15 an hour, a little bit more reasonably priced. As your skill increases, so should your hourly wage. My hourly wage is usually $15 to $20, but it can vary based on commission type and complexity. Now, the next chunk in the formula is hours spent. This is pretty self-explanatory, how many hours you spent on your project, on your commission or art piece. As your skill increases, hopefully your hours spent go down and you're able to effectively increase your income without compromising your art's integrity. My work is on the longer side. It usually takes about 4 to 6 hours per commission. So I know some people who can do that a lot faster. So more power to you. I think that's amazing. And the next chunk, price of supplies. This can be a little bit trickier, especially if you're a digital artist. If you're a traditional artist, yes, the paint maybe costs like $1.50 a bottle if it's more craft paint and not a really expensive paint. But at the same time, you usually don't use a whole bottle for a project, or at least I don't. And I think we can all agree that digital artists would be able to find no work at all if they tried to include the price of their iPad and Apple Pencil or tablet and stylus in the commission price, because that would just be ridiculous. For this chunk of the formula, I would just say use your best judgment. Remember to compensate yourself on the materials spent, but keep it fair, keep it reasonable. So again, one last time, that formula is hourly wage times hours spent plus price of supplies used in the process. Now that we have our fair price, let's talk about actually getting those commissions. Finding commissions can arguably be the hardest part in this process. I'll break this down into two parts: some common types of people who might want to commission you, and the best platforms to find these people on. A few disclaimers. One, commissions are and should be mutually beneficial. So while I'm telling you where these people often are, that doesn't mean that you should go hunt them down and ask if they're looking for commissions. It's important to remain respectful of others, and we can do that while still connecting with people who are interested in our art and hiring us. Two, I am also a fantasy artist. So if you do abstract or traditional art, some of these ideas might not apply to you. However, I did include a separate section with some extra tips just for you guys that you will find helpful. Okay, so let's talk clients. As a fantasy artist, most of my commissions come from drawing people's original characters, whether they're from a, certain game or fandom, or whether they're a professional author who would like me to draw their characters for pre-order goodies. The best way that I've found to find these people, find my clients, are through communities, whether that's Instagram, Discord, or Facebook groups. If you have no idea where to start, if you don't know what to do because these platforms are so large, I would suggest taking a look at what you already draw and what you already enjoy and try to get plugged into a community related to that. You can also check out what's called closed species, and even if you don't want to be a guest artist and don't want to support those communities, they and other artist communities will often have Discord servers with a designated advertising space where you can see who's looking for commissions and advertise your commissions too. My top tip in this whole process is to be proactive. Do your best to go where the commissioners are, not wait until they find you. Try to find someone who is actively searching for an artist to commission, then show them your work and give them a quote. In my experience, being proactive has served me so much more than waiting around for people to come and ask about my commissions. And again, being proactive means finding people who have posted that they're actively searching for artists to commission. It does not mean DMing random people and saying, "Hi, I'm an artist, please pay me so I can draw your characters." We just want to be respectful of others, keep the environment positive and friendly, and just come off as professional and not pushy. While I can't speak on finding clients for more traditional commissions, if you have an original piece or prints that you are looking to sell, I have a few ideas for you. I would suggest starting in your local community. Maybe coffee shops, Airbnbs, nice hotels, work with small businesses who sell products similar to yours, host booths at events, art fairs, etc., that sort of thing. Key here is, again, being proactive. I think, especially as artists, we so often think of creativity only in an artistic sense, as in drawing, painting, baking, dancing, etc. But I think creativity is also the ability to look at a problem, like where can I sell my art, and come up with unique and creative solutions. Ask what companies align with what kind of work you produce and what values you have as an artist, and go to those companies and propose a partnership. One way I'm doing this is I create a lot of nature-based content for my Etsy, and I'm now looking at local conservation centers, ethical zoos, aquariums, and seeing if I can partner with them not only to get my stickers out into the world, but to give back to the community and to support places, because I like animals, I like nature, and I like creating art of them. And yeah, I think it's a great way to partner with local places who align with not only my content, but my interests and my values. I have a long way to go before I master selling physical products, but I think once I started changing how I thought about these problems, and I started using my creativity to think of solutions and think of partnerships and think of opportunities, suddenly the paths became endless, basically. And I think that mindset shift is a great way for artists to help themselves get a better footing and a good launch into their careers. But of course, if we don't know how to handle them, endless opportunities can be more of a curse than a blessing. So now that we've found all our commission clients and all of our art opportunities, let's talk about how we manage them. So, how do I manage it all? Especially when, harken back to the story that I told, I had a literally unholy amount of commissions on my queue. The quick answer is Trello. And no, this is not a sponsored video, I just really love them and it's super helpful. There's both an online version and an app version, so whatever you like to use best, and it's free and it's super easy to use, intuitive, so highly recommend it. Good for organization. If you don't like apps and if you don't want to do something online, if you're more pen to paper kind of person, then I'm sure you could recreate something similar. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of how I organize. Here's what my current Trello looks like, with the commissioners' names blacked out for privacy's sake. As you can see, I have 4 main columns: current commissions and in progress character designs, finished commissions, pre-made character designs have an active payment plan, and a color key. For my color key, I use different shades to mark where I am in the commission process, including not started, sketching, lining, flat colors, rendering/painting, final touches, and of course, completed. To quickly determine which commissions have been fully paid, I add a red cover on anyone who has an incomplete payment plan, and within card notes, I mark how much they've paid out of the final amount and when their next payment is due. As for completing the commission itself, when I'm super busy, I will set aside a couple hours each day to work on commissions, and when I'm not, I work on commissions on a want-to basis as long as I finish the commission in a reasonable amount of time. When I have lots and lots of commissions, I'll start at the top of my queue and move downwards, trying to get each project to the next step within the commission process. This way, I make sure to prioritize my first commission commitments while still honoring my customers and making sure everyone's commission gets progress as well, no matter where it is on the queue. Some days, however, I am traveling or I'm with loved ones, or I feel extremely tired or burnout, and I don't work on commissions those days. And I think that's perfectly okay too. I think it's important to strike a balance between fulfilling your commitments and making sure that you take the time to rest and rejuvenate your creative energy. Otherwise, things can become stressful very quickly, which I most definitely learned firsthand, because that is exactly where I found myself about a year ago, with a queue longer than my sanity and a dwindling creative energy shorter than I am. So don't get me wrong, I am so grateful for all the support I received in terms of commissions and for the ability to make money doing art, doing what I love. Looking back, it was entirely my fault because I should have closed commissions to keep things more manageable, but in the moment, I felt like I had no choice but to keep going. After all, we are all gears caught in the wonderful wheels of capitalism. We have no choice but to keep spinning and spinning in the machine that we're placed in. And like those gears, we rust and we break and we destroy ourselves under the will of the machine. To put it less eloquently, taking all those commissions had consequences. Big ones, some that would last months after and some that I might even be feeling the effects of now. The most obvious was severe burnout. I'm talking no inspiration. I'm talking cry at even the thought of picking up a pencil, that kind of burnout. But if you've also struggled with burnout or art block or losing creative energy, have no fear because I created a video on that, complete with a little fun bingo chart to inspire you and help you fix it. So if that's something that you're interested in, I will attach that video at the end of this one. So go give it a watch if you think it might be helpful and pertinent to you. But back to my younger self panicking and being miserable in the situation that she found herself in. It wasn't only burnout I struggled with. Because I was charging so little for my commissions, maybe $10 an hour, maybe, my process felt very hurried and generally unfocused. I stressed, I rushed, and while I made sure to still provide high quality art, it wasn't art that I felt super great about because I knew that I could do better. I knew it wasn't my best work. Like, it was good work. It was work worth the price, but was it my best work? No. And it definitely wasn't something enjoyable to do. This lack of creative enthusiasm bled into my personal art as well. I no longer wanted to draw for myself. Not animations, not story characters, nothing. I didn't want to draw at all. I kind of hated drawing, actually. If I could go back, I would have been more selective in my commissions, targeting the types that bring me the most joy, and I would have raised my prices to keep myself from being overwhelmed. Again, I know that I could have set a commission limit, but because I was so worried about paying tuition, this wasn't an option for me at the time. All in all, even if I regret it, it taught me a lot, and as cheesy as it sounds, I'm grateful for the experience that I gained and that hopefully my experience can help you guys. And you won't make the mistakes that I did because let me tell you, the stress is not fun, y'all. The stress is not fun. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you can apply some things from this. And yeah, that's enough of my crazy stories. Now I want to hear yours. What's the most absurd commission you've taken because you needed the money? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you found this helpful and you want more content like this. I have lots more topics planned for the future, and if you enjoyed this video, then you'll probably like them too. And again, the artistic burnout video is here if you would like to watch it. As always, thank you so much for your time and your support, and I hope you have a day as wonderful as you are. Bye!